Trump says U.S. Envoy Witkoff to travel to Russia next week. Bold statement to hook the reader. The fate of Ukraine hangs in the balance as President Trump announces another diplomatic push to end the bloodshed. But here's where it gets controversial. United States President Donald Trump has revealed that his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, will be making a crucial trip to Russia next week to discuss the ongoing war in Ukraine. This move comes amidst escalating tensions and threats of severe sanctions against Russia if a ceasefire is not reached soon. Trump, speaking to reporters on Sunday, emphasized his desire for a deal that prioritizes human life. Yeah, get a deal where people stop getting killed. This statement, while noble in its sentiment, opens up a complex debate about the nature of diplomacy in times of war. Controversial point. Trump's latest comments on the situation in Ukraine are especially intriguing, given his recent description of Russia's actions as disgusting. This raises the question, can a real estate magnate and Gulf partner of Trump truly navigate the treacherous waters of international diplomacy, especially when the stakes are so high? Teaser to maintain curiosity. And this is the part most people miss. While the world's attention is focused on the potential sanctions and ceasefire, there's a hidden aspect to this story that could change everything. Trump has hinted at imposing very severe tariffs on Russia if a ceasefire is not agreed upon soon. This move, if executed, could have far-reaching consequences for both economies. But the question remains, is this the best approach to resolving the conflict? In addition to the diplomatic efforts, Trump has also deployed 2 nuclear submarines to the region, following a heated online exchange with former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. While details about the submarines' exact locations and capabilities remain scarce, this move has undoubtedly heightened tensions in the region. Thought-provoking question. As the world watches the unfolding events, what do you think is the most effective way to resolve the conflict in Ukraine? Should we rely on diplomacy, sanctions, or a combination of both? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The situation in Ukraine is far from resolved, with both sides continuing to launch attacks on each other. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced on Sunday that a recent meeting secured an agreement to exchange 1,200 prisoners. However, Russia has yet to comment on this development. Witkoff, a real estate magnate and Gulf partner of Trump, has already met with Russian President Vladimir Putin multiple times in his role as a White House special envoy. His latest trip to Russia comes after a recent visit to Tel Aviv, where he met with families of captives held in Gaza. As the world waits with bated breath for the outcome of Witkoff's mission, one thing is clear. The fate of Ukraine hangs in the balance, and the coming days will be crucial in determining the course of this conflict. Trump envoy's last chance ceasefire talks in Russia. Can Ukraine war end? This could be the final moment to halt the bloodshed in Ukraine. President Trump's special envoy, real estate entrepreneur Steve Witkoff, is set to fly to Moscow later this week in what the White House is calling a last-chance effort to nail down a ceasefire before more lives are lost. But here's where it gets controversial. After 6 months of stop-start diplomacy, no truce has been agreed, and the clock is ticking. According to Trump, Witkoff will touch down in Moscow on Wednesday or Thursday, armed with an ultimatum that has already been shortened twice. First, it was 50 days to accept a ceasefire, or face tariffs and sanctions targeting not only Russia, but also the countries buying its oil and gas. Think China and India, Russia's biggest energy customers. Then Trump slashed the window to just 10 days, complaining of relentless Russian drone and missile strikes on Ukrainian cities. That deadline expires this Friday, so Witkoff's meeting in the Kremlin could be the very last diplomatic play. What does Moscow say? Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that Russia will not rule out hosting Witkoff. He called these back-and-forth talks meaningful and very useful, insisting that dialogue with the U.S. is critical, especially alongside direct negotiations in Belarus between Russian and Ukrainian experts. And this is the part most people miss. Peskov also claimed that once these expert-level discussions wrap up, President Putin is open to meeting Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky, a one-on-one summit Kyiv has been asking for, but which Moscow has repeatedly brushed off. Meanwhile, Kyiv has made it clear the first step must be an immediate halt to hostilities. Ukrainian President Zelensky used his Telegram channel on Monday to urge the West to go all in on secondary sanctions, penalties aimed at banks and companies in third countries that do business with Russia's energy sector. The world has enough power to stop this and protect people, he wrote. Zelensky's plea underscores how vital it is to choke off Kremlin cash flows if any ceasefire is to hold. Andriy Kovalenko, head of Ukraine's counter-disinformation center, even called Witkoff's trip Russia's last chance to stop the war in a Telegram post. If this doesn't work, sanctions are coming, he warned. But here's another flashpoint. Oleksandr Merezhko, who leads Ukraine's Parliamentary Foreign Affairs Committee, doubts Trump will truly... My question, is Trump bluffing for headlines, or is he really willing to risk a diplomatic fallout with Beijing and New Delhi over this crisis? Tensions spiked last week when Trump and former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev traded insults. Medvedev labeled Trump's ceasefire threat a step toward war, not with Ukraine, but with his own country, prompting Trump to order 2 U.S. nuclear submarines toward appropriate regions. Let's be frank, enforcing a real ceasefire means more than paper promises. It demands a willingness to risk deepening tensions with 2 of the world's biggest powers. Now it's over to you. Do you think this might finally force Putin's hand, or is it just another round of diplomatic theater? Are the White House's ultimatums credible, or are we witnessing an elaborate bluff? Share your thoughts below and let's debate whether this last chance actually has a shot at bringing peace.